I want to welcome you to the July 2023 webinar for the membership of the National Chimney Sweep Guild. Appreciate you joining me, and hopefully, this will be some information that you can not only utilize but also share with your team. You know, 2023, by all standards, has been a really tough year. We're seeing reports of businesses that are being down considerably, some 10%. There's actually businesses that have reported being down as much as 45%. That's right, 45%. It's definitely back to the pre COVID days. Because one of the things that we found out was after the COVID pandemic hit, all of a sudden the demands for products and services went to a whole new level for any factor of home service. But now business is a little bit tougher. It's a little bit tougher. And in order to have success, it may just require some new thinking on your part and some new processes. Okay. And one of the most important processes to be looking at for 2023 is becoming believable. That's right, becoming believable. Believable to both prospective customers and also to your existing customers. Just what are you doing to be believable? So often we hear about people going into sales training and learning how to sell more. But at the same time, what we've got to do is we've got to activate our customers' desire to buy. As one of my mentors shared with me when I went through training, Jeffrey Gitomer, it's more important by far to be able to activate the buying desire of the client, the customer, than it is to sell. And often when we see people selling, we got to tell them, hey, stop, educate the customer. Joe Polish, a noted coach and consultant who runs very high end coaching groups for business leaders, he's found out that the secret was educational marketing. So, I decided a few while back, stop doing sales training. We do believability training. And believability training, where does it start? It starts with your marketing. And ask yourself the question, what in your market makes you believable to a prospect in order for them to pick up the phone and call you, to send an email, to start a chat, to text you, whatever the communication method of that customer is? Because what there is out there in the very real world in your community is what we call suspects, suspects for your business. And what our marketing is designed to do is turn that suspect into a prospect. But then we have the first moment of truth. And the moment of truth is when they call the office, when they call your office and they have your interaction with your staff. And do we show them empathy? Are we giving them a comfort feeling that they can feel good with us? That an experience with our technicians, with our staff, is going to enhance their lifestyle. It's going to make their homes safer. It's going to make their environment better. And you're going to be somebody that they're going to be glad they had in their home, that they welcomed into it. Okay. And this is the prospect turning into a customer. And this has got to be the goal every time the telephone rings. We have to be friendly. We have to show empathy. And we've got to have where that customer buys into what we do. But then there's also the factor of what happens between the time that the customer books the appointment and our people show up at the house. Are we sending them information about that technician? Who's coming to their house? What does this person love to do? What's their goal? What's their personal mission in life? Knowing that technician and knowing who's coming their home. Are they a father? Are they a mother? Are they a person that helps charities? Do they help in the community? All these kind of things are going to help in believing this believability process. Because in order for the customer to buy, they've got to trust you and you've got to build a relationship to them. Now we move on. It's time for the home visits. Are we arriving when we say we did? Are we arriving? And are we doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it? It's all important. Not only that, we got to have a clean, neat technician arriving on the job site. He's got to arrive in a server vehicle that's clean, it's neat, it's organized, because this customer is making their judgment on the appearance, the attitude, the respect that someone shows to them. So we've got to learn to go about our jobs, do it in a way that shows respect to our customer and to their home. It's vastly important to be able to do these things. Do we work in that professional manner? Do we show care for the customer's home when we're in their home? So at that point, there's going to come a time when we come up with what we call the kitchen table discussion. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk with the customer and we're going to go over the documentation that we've collected. And we're going to offer to them our opinions of what we found at that job site. Again, are we educating the customer? Are we starting out with that sales process? Are we slapping them upside the head? You got to move extremely careful. And if you're a technician, this is all important. And you've also got to learn something very important, and that is the skill of listening, not to reply, rather to understand and know what those customer concerns are. You got to be able to read their body language. You got to be able to determine, are they accepting your opinions? Are they accepting you? Sometimes we forget about this part of the process. Do we explain the problems we found in a way that the customer can understand and buy into? Are we using terms? Are we using words that they don't understand? Because if we have this lack of understanding, this lack of comprehension, we're not going to be able to do the job successfully. Another factor that's going to help you tremendously if you are a technician in the home is to record your conversation with your customer. Record the conversation. There are various types of screen apps that you can upload to your phone that will record both your conversation with the customer and the photos that you're describing. And what you've also got to do after this presentation is over with, you got to listen to this. Listen and grade yourself. Not only that, hand it to a trusted mentor. Let them listen to your presentation and let them give you helpful criticism of what they do. It's a fantastic way. We call it virtual quality control. And we've been teaching this method for quite a few years now. And we have the processes pretty well down pat of how to do this. Then comes the next step. Are we getting the quote to the customer when they request it in an expedient manner? This is one of the biggest complaints I hear is that customers are calling looking for their quotes. We promise we'll send them one, but it doesn't happen. In all actuality, we need a system that we can do the majority of our quotes while we're at the home. Yeah, I understand. There may be some that you're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to speak to your supervisor about how to properly quote this. But in today's world, with the software and the ability to build price books that can be used in the field, this becomes a much easier task. You see, in the year 2023, it takes a whole lot more work to accomplish this goal of believability. The consumers are nervous. The consumers have clamped down on their spending. If we look around us, the cost of living has increased dramatically. And it's up to us to take the efforts to do the things that we've got to do to be successful. Are you just selling? And if what you're selling is and not educating, you got to stop that crap because it's not going to accomplish your goal. Again, Jeffrey Gitomer advised the following. Think about this about stop selling. He said that if you can learn to activate the desire to buy, it's going to be billions of times more important than the ability to sell. The ability to sell. And Jeffrey also says his little red book of selling, it's all about building the trust, building the relationship up with your customer. And when you do this, you're going to find yourself, you're going to become a much more viable part of your community. You're going to be much more accepted as a part of the budget for home services that the American consumer is doing this day. You see, success with sales requires believability. And the process to obtain this believability is up to one person, and that's you. You have to strive to excel in this. It's going to take practice. It may take some changes in your vocabulary. It may take changes in your delivery process. This is where the recording of your presentations becomes so important, and where you can actually watch yourself, grade yourself, and understand how to make changes. And with that, we're going to end today's presentation. I appreciate you joining me for just a few brief minutes. I hope this is of value to you. My name's Jerry Eisenhower. Our company is CBC Success Group. Let's know if we can help you in any way to turn those business dreams you have into your business realities. Appreciate you joining me, and I thank you for your time as always.